This is our outer tie rod end. We want to disconnect that. That's going to actually disconnect the rack assembly from our wheel end. We're going to do this on both sides. Now this has a castle nut that's holding the tie rod end to the spindle. We want to take the cotter pin out, and then we can go ahead and take the nut off. Okay, now with the nut off, the tie rod end, it's a tapered seat into a tapered hole on the spindle, and that's a pressed fit. In order to make this, to separate this joint, we have a tie rod separator, and that basically goes between the boot and our spindle, and just hit it with a hammer. Okay, now with the tie rod end off, you can see we've disconnected the suspension part of the car. Okay, that takes care of this side. We want to do the same thing to the other side. Basically comes apart the exact same way. In order to remove the rack, it will need to be disconnected from the steering shaft at the intermediate coupling. The coupling is between the firewall and the frame member. It's kind of hard to get to, and I can just get my hand and wrench in the small space. The coupling on some cars is easier to access. To keep the pinion shaft tight and secure, the Mustang uses a pinch bolt that will have to be removed. The wrench cannot move much in a small space, so it'll take a while to get enough turns to allow the pinch bolt to come out. Now that the pinch bolt is loose, I'll use a screwdriver to separate the pinion shaft from the coupler as much as possible. This will not make it come apart completely, but it'll get it started enough to make getting it out easier once I have removed the rack mounting bolts. If the original rack is okay and will be reused, such as when replacing the boots, be sure to clean around the fittings where the lines connect to the rack to keep debris from entering the rack. Cleaning the fittings is also helpful when removing the lines, even when the rack will be replaced. Now remove the rack mounting bolt. The bolt is several inches long and goes through the bushing in the frame. It can be a little tricky getting to the nut on the other side of the frame. Now for the other side. Now the rack can be pulled loose completely from the steering coupling. A pry bar can come in handy for this. The bolts go through a metal sleeve used as a mounting stud. A pair of pliers can be used to pull it out. There it is. Okay, well there's the old rack assembly. You know, sometimes this can be a tedious, and it is a dirty job too. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and clean off the frame member, clean up our tools, and we're ready to install the replacement rack. Cleaning the frame member makes it easier to work on when installing the new rack. It also keeps grime and debris from getting under the rack, which could cause it to be mounted incorrectly. As with any job, to do it right, you'll need the right tools. The nice thing is that jobs today don't require a large, expensive assortment. Basic hand tools are generally all you'll need. In case where a specialty tool is required, be sure to check with AutoZone's Loan a Tool program. They have many specialty tools that can help you complete your job a lot quicker and easier. The first things you'll need are a socket set, torque wrench, drop light, tape measure, tie rod separator, and a repair manual for your specific vehicle. You may also need screwdrivers or pliers to remove some components. We will also need power steering fluid to replace what will be lost during the repair.
Be cautious when working under the hood. If the engine has been running, components will be extremely hot, so be careful what you touch. When working around a running engine, It is important to be alert and never wear loose clothing or a necktie that can get tangled in belts, pulleys, or the fan. When lifting a vehicle, never work under it until it has been secured with wheel blocks and securely positioned on jack stands. A hydraulic jack alone is never enough. Be cautious when working with oils and chemicals. Many are damaging to the groundwater environment and toxic to people and animals. Never drain or pour chemicals into the ground or sewer systems. Local municipalities and counties offer resources for proper disposal. And always remember to wear your safety glasses.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Get the entire DVD for this repair and all other procedures covered in the Complete Car Care series at your local AutoZone store.